Again, my name is Glenn Moores. I'm president of Microdata Group. Microdata is a company, we've been around since 1992, which is quite a while now. And we provide IT outsourcing for small and mid-sized businesses throughout the New England area, although we also work with some that are outside of New England due to the capabilities of technology. We don't have any single vertical that we work with. The general characteristics, small and mid-sized business, and that can be anything from 10 to 200. There's not a hard and fast rule. What's a small business is changing. Then through the 90s, a couple of interesting things happened. The development of some new technologies that weren't even in existence before suddenly came into the picture. Suddenly you had things like the internet. Suddenly you had email. Suddenly you had viruses. Suddenly you had websites. Suddenly you had real network operating systems that really worked. Suddenly you had remote users. So the level of complexity kept going up. I decided that right around the year 2000 that really the tools now existed that we could transform the way that IT services were provided to small and mid-sized business and do it much more like large businesses. Large businesses like the one that Red who works at State Street. I mean, if they want outsourcing, they go to HP, they go to EDS, they go to somebody like that, Unisys or something. They would come in, they would take on the responsibility for doing all of those things, and there were a lot of advantages to IT outsourcing. There are a lot of advantages today, but what was different was that wasn't available to small companies, partly because the overhead to provide those services in terms of the investment that would have to be made, the economics just didn't work. But by 2000, I actually saw a change. I saw an opportunity that we could now invest in the technologies, spread them out across a pool of customers, and we could, in fact, deliver those services. That's when I started the idea of outsourcing at Microdata for small and mid-sized businesses. Today, even very small businesses cannot work without technology. Can't do it. 5-person, 2-person businesses. And in fact, we have a number of really small kind of commerce-based virtualized sorts of clients that have a significant operation, and it's not employee dependent, it's technology dependent. The employees are there to guide and manage the technologies. There is a general perception that outsourcing means miserable service. Some of the best humor is, associated with this idea of we're going to find some place where the labor cost is really low, and you dial the 800 number and it's going to go there and it isn't going to go here. That is what a lot of people think of. Today, everybody in the IT business calls everything outsourcing, simply because it is a convenient marketing perception to place that says, I'm going to take care of everything for you. Unfortunately, that isn't the way it works out, which is why there's so much confusion, because you end up having to compare product to product to product, and how do you actually compare what it is you get. See, now, with our Complete Care plan, it's kind of easy, because Complete Care covers everything. There are no exceptions, there's no exclusions. It's just covered. If it's IT, we do it. What we end up in bid situations with other customers, and they get very confused about this, is they go out and they get back 4 proposals that say they're going to provide outsourcing, and they range from $200 a month to $3,000 a month. But they're all outsourcing, theoretically, and you almost have to be a technical analyst to read through the fine print to figure out what actually you're getting and what you're not getting. So it is very difficult to know what's outsourcing. The other term you'll hear is managed services. Managed services is, in the IT industry, is simply any packaged IT service, anything. There's no service level guarantees typically with managed services. It's just a best effort basis, and what you get is as good as the company is and their resources or whatever else that you can get. Why do people like those? There's a degree of predictability to them. On the downside, again, there is no guarantee to it at all, and you do have to sometimes look very hard to figure out what you're actually getting. Boston.com salary survey, about 109 grand to get that person. Then, you got to supervise them. You got to give them space. You got to buy hardware, software, books. You got to send them for training, professional development. They're still going to need outside support contracts. You're hiring them and you don't really know anything about technology. What's the cost if you make a mistake and hire a bad person? And they're just going to leave anyway. Why would they want to work for you? I mean, as soon as somebody offers them $5 more, they're out the door. All of those costs and all of that hassle get avoided. Many times organizations are very entrenched in their processes and the way that they do things. By bringing in an outside company for outsourcing, you can affect a significant change bypassing the entire internal culture in a single operation. You go to an outside entity and then the people inside are able to say, it just had to happen, it's a bigger process than any one of us, and it actually happens.